This show has reinvigorated my desire to want a Chucky doll. So I went and looked one up, and I saw they had one for like $600. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll just stick with supporting this show. And welcome to my safe gaming, everybody. Thank you for clicking on this video and joining me here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. My name is Michael, the Black Gay Comic Geek. I always say the things I love to talk about in my fantasy has blood, sex, gore, magic, or any variation of the four. So I like to talk about video games, superheroes, comic books, fantasy, sci-fi, anything that has blood, sex, gore, and magic. And so speaking of, we are here to talk spoilers for episode 4 of Chucky, titled Let It Go. If you haven't seen my non-spoiler review giving my initial thoughts for episodes 1 to 3, just click the link up here, check that out, and then come back here. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. I also like to talk about black representation and queer representation in fantasy, or the lack thereof. So this is something you're interested in. Hopefully you enjoy my videos. Hopefully you check out the other videos on my channel and hit the like button for this video and every video that you watch, because it'll really help with the YouTube algorithm and getting my video and my channels out there so I can continue channels. I only got one channel, but getting my video and channel out there so this thing can continue to grow. And the same thing, if this is your first, second, third, fourth, or millionth time coming here, if you could do me a favor, hit the like button. Also, have you seen episodes 1 through 3 and 4 of Chucky? What did you think about it? Let me know here in the comment section below, because in the video that I talked about my first 3 episodes, my thoughts for the first 3 episodes, I had a couple people saying that based on my review that they're going to be now interested in checking out the show. So did you end up checking it out? What did you think about it? Let's talk about it. So yeah, like I said, for this episode, we will be talking spoilers for episode 4. So if you have not seen episode 4 of Chucky, go check that out and then come back here and let's talk about my thoughts and then your thoughts. So episode 4 of Chucky is titled Let It Go, and it picks up right after the cliffhanger of episode 3 where Lexi's house is caught on fire. And because of the smoke inhalation, Jake's classmates end up all going to the hospital, which Jake ends up going to see if everybody's okay. Like, he thinks maybe Lexi's dead. He ends up looking around and he finds out that the love of his life, Devin, is still alive. So they have a little moment together where they smile at each other. And I'm just like, they just need to get together at this point. Like, come on, like tell him that you like him. And Jake ends up getting confronted by Lexi. He finds out Lexi is still alive, and she now knows the secret that Chucky is Charles Lee Ray in doll form. Or she doesn't know that part, but she knows Chucky is alive. And the thing about this scene and this interaction that I hate between the two of them is, like, Lexi is such an entitled brat. She's a bully. I hate this character, but because Jake essentially did the equivalent of hiring a hitman to take her out, obviously what he did was terrible. It now gives her the moral high ground to basically chastise Jake for essentially wanting to kill her. And I'm just like, she's right, but don't try to act like your hands are completely washed clean from this entire situation. Yeah, Jake went a little overboard with trying to get you killed, but there's a reason for it. So she's freaking out, and she's gonna threaten to tell her parents that Jake has tried to kill her, but Jake basically convinces her, like, who's gonna believe you that a doll came to life and is trying to kill you? Like, everybody that's tried to talk about Chucky has either ended up in a mental institution or worse. And so she just tells him to stay away from her, and she leaves. And then we jump to Devin's mother, the detective. I can't think of her character's name, but she's talking to Devin about Jake and the whole situation, because every time there's an incident, it always leads back to Jake and Chucky. And so she wonders, was Jake at the party? Or if Jake wasn't at the party, was the doll at the party? And she's obviously going to find out that Chucky's alive, especially after what happens in this episode. Like, yeah, I mean, all of them are going to find out at some point. And it kind of makes me wonder, like, how long can this show go on? Because based on what they're doing in these first 4 episodes, everybody's going to find out about Chucky. Like, there's no way they can't find out especially after this episode. And she reveals to her son that Oliver didn't actually die in the fire. He was actually unalive with multiple stab wounds. And Devin eventually tells his future boyfriend, Jake, which Jake already knew, obviously, but Jake tries to pretend he didn't know. And this is one thing I will say about the actor and the person that plays Jake. Like, and this is something I noticed in the first 3 episodes as well that I didn't kind of talk about, but I do feel like, as much as I like the character, I like the actor, I like his portrayal, I do feel like in a lot of instances, he kind of overacts a little bit with his, like, facial, like, he does a lot of, like, he hams it up a lot with the facial expressions, and I'm like, calm down, bro, like, tone it down just a little bit. Like, it's almost soap opera-y in a way, like, his face, like, I don't know, I just find it, like, funny, like, his facial, like, I feel like he's just like, yeah, obviously I'm over-exaggerating, but, I just feel like he overdoes it with the face. But it's not, like, bad. Like, he's not a terrible actor. I'm just saying, like, it's just funny. But he's 14. He still has room to grow. He's living his dream as the lead of a television series. Meanwhile, I still got to work a full-time job that I hate overnight at a hotel instead of making content and things like that, which is what I really want to do. So at least he's living his dream, so maybe I need to over-exaggerate with the facial expressions. But anyway, we see that Junior ends up getting put under anesthesia because his lungs have been damaged from the smoke inhalation, which means he can't participate in track for the next month, which his father is pissed off about, which ends up triggering him once Lexi's family confronts him by saying that, oh, you're pushing your child to relive your glory days and making him do things that you don't want him, that you're making him do things that he doesn't even want to do. And so Junior's parents and Lexi's parents get into a tiff, which ends up causing Junior's father to confront him like, oh, you like running, right? Like, but you can tell there's something that Junior doesn't really have a passion for. He just wants to impress and make his father proud of him. And that's something I never understood with regards to parents like pushing things on their kids that they don't really, and I get like wanting to give opportunities and allow your kids to do things that maybe you never got a chance to do. Maybe you wanted to play football when you were young, but you weren't allowed to. So now you're going to overcompensate and say, oh, I'm going to make my kid play football. But it's like, pick up on cues. Like, if your kid doesn't want to do it, then don't push them and force them into doing things. Like, I remember hearing so many stories in college about how they wanted to go to school for like theater or things like that, but their parents wouldn't allow them. They forced them into doing like business and everything. And I get like, you know, being an actor in theater is not something that is always a viable option. There are a lot more people that wanted to be an actor that never got the opportunity to be an actor or a singer or a dancer and never lived that career, and they're working other jobs, and so you feel like you got to push them to be a doctor or a lawyer, something that's more guaranteed. But yet, at the end of the day, you're stifling your kids' dreams. Like, maybe they will never grow up to be an actor or a singer or whatever they want to be, or even a veterinarian, I don't know. But maybe they could, or maybe that pursuing the goal could lead to another interest. Like, yeah, just stop pushing your goals on your kids and let them find their own way. It's the same thing I come across when it comes to people like not letting their kids play with like Barbies because they're like, oh, that's gay. And it's like, no, gay is me sleeping with another man, not playing with a doll. Speaking of playing with dolls, Lexi and Jake decide to go back to Lexi's house to find out if Chucky is still alive. Did he die and burn up in the fire? And while they're in the house, Lexi continues to antagonize Jake about what he did and sending Chucky after her. And finally, I was like, Jake, granted, I understand what you did was wrong, but say something, like defend yourself, come on. And finally, he actually defended himself and told Lexi about how she's a terrible person, she's not good, and she's the reason that set him off. Maybe what he did was wrong, but don't act like she's completely innocent. And that ended up causing her to fall over the railing. And Jake had the opportunity to end her. Like, he could have let her go, which is the title of this episode. And the whole time I was thinking when Chucky, we finally get the reveal that Chucky is actually alive, but his face has been completely mutilated and burnt. And then I was also thinking to myself, like, I don't know if they've ever explained in the Child's Play movies and lore, how does Chucky end up getting a new body every single time? Like, does he put himself in new good guy dolls? Because you think about the first one, the second one, the third. Like, the first one, he completely burned alive. Then you got the Bride of Chucky, where his face was stitched together. Same with Seed of Chucky. But then you get to this movie, he has a completely new body. But anyway, so Chucky is like the devil on his shoulder saying like, let her go. You want to be like me, and she's pushed you over the edge, and now it's your turn to push her over the edge, and yada yada. And of course, Jake doesn't do it. He lifts her up. He saves her life. But the whole time I was just like, that fall from the top floor to the first floor is not that huge of a drop. If he dropped her, unless she like flips over and like lands on her neck, there's no way she's gonna die. Like, it's not that far of a drop. But I was just like, if he did drop her, like, she would have just landed and probably fell on her butt. And yeah, Chucky would have probably got her in the end, but he made it seem like if he let her go, she would have died from the height of the fall. And Chucky wouldn't have had, because Chucky said, fine, if you won't let her go, I'll do it myself. But yeah, I was just like, all right, drama for the sake of drama to show that Jake is not actually a bad person, which him pulling her up. But yeah, I was like, okay, I don't believe this because the drop is not that far. But whatever. Anyway, so Chucky tries to get her. He's unsuccessful. And he pulls Lexi up. And then a cop ends up coming into the scene of the crime, grabs Chucky, and puts them in the back of the police car. And that's when Lexi runs into the hospital to try to stop Chucky. And Jake gets confronted by Devin's mother. And she tries to get him to say something. And she obviously kind of knows what's going on because she tries to ask him, was his father hitting him? Which was the case. She knows about the bullying and she's trying to figure out, is he the one killing? And she also asks questions about Chucky because, yeah, she's obviously going to find out that Chucky's alive, like I said. But before Jake can say anything, that's when alarms go off because Chucky pulled the plug on Lexi, causing her ventilator to stop, which actually... Backtracking before that, right before Chucky did that, he ended up killing the same detective that brought him to the hospital. So they all run towards Lexi's sister's hospital room. They put the ventilator back online, and that's when Chucky, Devin, and Lexi, which now Devin's into the fold, he finds out that Chucky's actually alive. When Chucky sees them, taunts them, and sticks up his middle finger at the three of them, which actually, backtracking, Devin was the one that told Lexi about the whole Charles Lee Ray and Chucky connection. And then we get to see a flashback of Charles Lee Ray in his teenage years. And there's a callback to the first Chucky movie with Eddie Caputo, who's somebody that was a accomplice of his that he ended up unaliving in the first Chucky movie. So we find out the origins of that. And yeah, I thought this was another fun episode. I enjoy these characters and want to see how they're going to end up stopping Chucky in this first season. We're now at the halfway point. Episode 5, 6, 7, and 8 is after. Episode 5 actually comes out tonight. So I'm going to check that out probably tomorrow because I don't have cable, so I only watch things online and it's not going to show up on the Sci-Fi app until tomorrow. But I did see a thing because I was wondering, I was like, is Tiffany going to show up? I saw a press release that Jennifer Tilly is coming back for this show, so that'd be nice to see. But I like the character of Tiffany and Jennifer Tilly's interaction with Chucky and everything like that. So, and I'm also just waiting for Devin and Jake to finally get together, to finally because they clearly both like each other. So I'm like, I'm pulling a KB Lame from TikTok, like, let's make it happen. But yeah, I had fun. I'm ready for episode 4, but that's enough of me talking and getting my thoughts out there. The question is, what did you think about episode 4 of Chucky Let It Go? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you can, again, hit that thumbs up button and like this video to really help out with the channel. If this is one of your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.